Hey everyone, this is Jane, and if you've ever felt like your dreams were too far out of reach, trust me, I've been there. I was born in a tiny town in Ohio. One stoplight, two diners, and one big dream: to someday become a pastry chef in one of the world's greatest restaurants. Crazy, right? For years, people told me it was impossible, that I was just a small-town girl with big city dreams. But life has a funny way of rewarding those who refuse to quit. I started out washing dishes at a local restaurant called Maple Spoon Diner. The kitchen was small. The air always smelled like burnt toast and fryer oil, but I loved it. Whenever the pastry chef was working, I'd sneak peeks over her shoulder, watching how she piped whipped cream or tempered chocolate. After my shift, I'd go home and experiment, usually ruining my mom's kitchen in the process. Most nights, I fell asleep scrolling through dessert photos from fancy restaurants in New York, whispering to myself, one day, that'll be me. Then one morning, something unbelievable happened. Our head chef, Mark, came running into the kitchen yelling, "Team, listen up! In 2 months, we're hosting a masterclass with Chef Laurent Duvall." The whole kitchen froze. Duvall was the pastry god, the man behind the most famous dessert in New York. And he was coming here, to our tiny town. That night, I couldn't sleep. I knew this was my chance. Maybe my only one. I asked Chef Mark if I could make one of my own desserts on the day of the event. At first, he laughed. "Jane, you realize Laurent Duvall has Michelin stars, right? This isn't a bake sale." But after some begging, he finally said, "Fine. You get one shot. Make it count." And I did. For the next 7 weeks, I barely left the kitchen. I tested recipes, adjusted textures, cried over curdled custards, and burned through every bag of sugar we had. My creation? A strawberry raspberry ice cream sphere sealed in a thin shell of dark chocolate, resting on a pistachio chip, and drizzled with caramel dust. I called it the frozen heart, because that's what it felt like chasing a dream that everyone told me was impossible. Frozen, but still beating. The morning of the masterclass, my hands wouldn't stop shaking. The kitchen was spotless, cameras ready, chefs lined up like soldiers. When Chef Laurent Duvall finally walked in, he had that presence. Calm, sharp, intimidating. He greeted everyone politely, then started his demonstration. Halfway through, Chef Mark nudged me. "You still want to do this?" I swallowed hard and nodded. After the class ended, I approached Duvall. My heart was pounding so loud, I could barely hear myself. "Chef, I know this isn't part of the schedule, but could you please try my dessert? If you hate it, I'll never bother you again." He raised an eyebrow. "You're brave," he said. "All right, show me." Everyone in the kitchen stopped what they were doing. You could hear a pin drop. I placed the frozen heart in front of him. He cracked the chocolate shell with a spoon. Steam from the cold vapor escaped, and for a moment, it actually looked magical. He took one bite, then another, and then silence for 2 long minutes. He set the spoon down slowly, looked at me, and said, "This dessert is not perfect." My heart sank. But then he smiled slightly and continued, "But I can taste your story in it. The struggle, the hope, the heart. That's something no school can teach." He paused again, then said the words I'll never forget. "Pack your bags, Jane. You're coming to New York," I cried. Right there, in front of everyone. Chef Mark hugged me, even though he pretended to. Hate emotions. 2 weeks later, I was in New York working alongside the best chefs in the world. And yes, Chef Duvall kept his promise. It wasn't easy. I made mistakes, burned sugar, even sliced my hand once. But every night I looked out the kitchen window at the city skyline and thought, this is what happens when you chase your dream and refuse to quit. Now, years later, I still remember that day in Ohio, the day a small-town girl served her heart on a plate, and someone tasted it. If you're watching this and you've got a dream, no matter how crazy or out of reach it seems, remember this: dreams don't rise overnight. They bake slowly, like the best desserts. So keep stirring, keep tasting, keep going. Thanks for watching, guys. This was Jane. And remember, sometimes your job can change your life in the sweetest way possible.